Let's pretend like nothing happened, yeah? Let's pretend that I didn't just have to redo 2 matches from last night's session. Because we don't need it, we don't need it. I think... Shall I just restart the timer? I think I will. And we'll purge that part of the stream from it ever existing. It was rubbish, but it's technically not really the playtime. Although I'm really sad that I put my all into that first game. But yeah, let's just redo the timer. We'll cut all of that off. Restart. So we're 4 hours 47 minutes into it. The last what? The last 3.5 hours never happened. No, we've had a lovely time playing Pelé. It's been bliss. And we're going to continue from where we left off this time last night. And maybe make no progress at all. But we will do our best. Welcome in. I've just gone live. We're starting a new stream. Beautiful. Manchester versus Milan. This is what it should have been. See now, look. See, I remember this last night. I think we did do Milan because they were in a black uniform. Playing the game. So that's what I mean. This exact thing happened. There's a clip of me playing Bubsy years ago, and I put the wrong password in and replayed an entire level and didn't notice. And I suffered through it as well, and then I got to the end of it and then I was on the next level and then I was like, wait, what? I thought that was, because I looked at the title and was like, wait, wasn't this the level that we were on before? And then I realised that I'd just redone the previous level again. But obviously it's that dull and bland that you don't notice. It was one of those treetop levels. Right, now we've got to actually win. Like, legit. That went through the net though. Surely that would have gone in by the game's horrific physics. What's this tugging? No, it's not. Headset's slightly tangled up. Wonder why it was pulling short. I wonder which of these football games will end up being the best. At the moment, I don't think you can do much better than J-League Final Stage, the third one. But again, some of that is music and graphics. It's pretty tough. I don't feel like I liked a lot of them. World Cup Championship 2 was okay, but then again I played it on easy, so maybe I'd change my mind if it was on normal. And then Sensible Soccer, I feel like that was okay. Like, I like any game where I can just score, you know. If I can get the ball in the net, it's definitely good game design. We still got Odyssey 2. Odyssey 2 is terrible. It's really bad. If you're ever curious, do I have it on the do I have it on backlogged? I am on backlogged if anybody else is and is ever curious, but is my Bubsy 2 review on there? Because I thought it was wretched. Where's Bubsy 2? I hate the way that they organise games on this website, it's so specific. Oh, there's so many reviews, everybody's playing Bubsy. Oh, I get there again. You ever want to read my review of this is what I thought of Bubsy? Bubsy 2. I gave it 1 out of 5, which is 2 out of 10. Yeah. Rubbish. Rubbish game. ISS, so you say. I'll have to see. That one doesn't have a manual. I think there's only a manual in French. You don't own that one either, do you, if I recall? I'm getting really behind on my reviews. I'm starting to forget games that I need to write reviews for. I realised yesterday I don't have a review for Dig Vital. I end up having to watch my own VODs and try and remember what I thought. Which isn't always the best way, but I kind of don't like writing reviews. I'm a verbal person. I'm better at just telling you, sitting typing it. I'm like, oh god, can't be bothered. But and it's not that I'm like, oh, I want my reviews so that like I'm a game reviewer. I like to jot them down so I can remember. Do you know what I mean? Ah, no, what am I doing? Stop doing that. And don't do that. Bugger. I've got myself into a bad habit from playing hardball. Well, I used to keep doing that to reload the password, and I don't want to. Oh well. There it is. But yeah, I sort of like to have the write-up as a I like the write-up as a memory, so I can, you know, if I'm asked or if I want to remember myself, I can reread my, because there's stuff you forget, and I feel like as time goes on, I always soften on games, but if I reread my review, I'm like, no, I remember now. I remember why I hated it. Whereas I feel like over time I do generally like, oh, it wasn't that bad though, was it? And then it's often like, no, it really was. There's quite a few games that I feel like I suffered on. Like I keep looking back on Era and I'm like, was it really that bad? But every time I put it on again, I'm like, no, don't like it. Awesome Possums. Oh yeah. Wait, what did I say? I can't remember now. Awesome Possum is atrocious though. Need to distinguish it. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I remember why now. Is my Awesome Possum review on there actually? I'm awesome. I think I can sum it up though. I basically just said it's bootleg bad. Bootleg bad. I was not kind. My Chuck Rock reviews weren't kind either. I don't think my it's not on there. Yeah, it's on my other side thing though, but I've not transferred it over. I love cats and Bubsy is super cute. Can't wait for 3. What is this slander? But yeah, I don't know if you need an account. I presume you can just click on my name on that website. You can look at most reviews. I haven't. There's loads I need to transfer because I use another website which is a lot more locked up. but that one's more public. But I haven't transferred all my reviews over yet. And sometimes when I go back to them, I end up wanting to expand on them. Oh, hey! Hey, Mystical Machine Gun, aren't you up late? I'll not be long for this world either, though, because it's a weekday and I have work. But thank you for the raid. I'll pass it on to somebody else, I'm sure. How are you? How was, I didn't even know you were live. You must have got live after me, which is unusual. What were you playing? Goal! This game's terrible. Did you ever play this one? It came out in PAL, so I assume that's Australia as well. I do my birthday bathroom. Well, thank you. I'll always take a raid. Gex? Why Gex? Has somebody chosen that for you? But yeah, I suppose I should introduce what I'm doing. I'm trying to beat all the Mega Drive games, and this is one. This is Pelé 282. We got a lot of sports to go, and this one is being a pain in the arse because I lost my save for it. So I've been live for 2.5 hours and actually only just managed to recover the progress that I made yesterday. So I've had to play Pelé twice, which is really fun. Yeah, it's an oof. It's always the turds as well that this happens on. How was Gex? If you need to go, just go though. But yeah, how was Gex? I watched an old streamer Mechalavos playing Gex on the PlayStation. Was it which Gex was it the first one, the 2D one? I watched some of that and oh my god. Do you know an interesting thing with that though? Which version are you playing? I should let you answer a question actually before, but there's more than one Gex. Gex 2. Oh, get into the Gecko. Oh, I don't know about that one then. But the 2D Gex has an American track and a European, like UK track. So he has different sound bites. You vaguely recall some British magazine as a kid that gave this game a 4% score. It is shocking, Jiggy. How are you? This is terrible. Have you ever played this? Or seen it? I don't know whether Ghost has played it already. It's dreadful. But the thing is though, it's actually not. I still don't think it's the worst. You follow it very closely. It's not good, but I still don't think it's the worst thing ever. My issue with it is I can't score. If I could just bloody shoot, I would give this like 3 out of 10. But because I can't score, I don't think I can give it any kinder. Because I kind of like the menus. I think it's kind of quaint. The menus are silly. The music's on the menus is okay. That's too loud. Oh, for fuck's sake. Like, I think European club soccer is I still think the club soccer's worse than this. I hated that game. I also think Pro Move Soccer was pretty ghastly as well. Looks and moves, it doesn't move. It doesn't. It's isometric. It's actually 8-way isometric. And it's awful. The angle's terrible as well. She can't see the goal half the time. But it makes it really hard to shoot. Because this is me holding right. Well, I'll show you with the camera lock. This is, imagine this is the player. Up is this, down is this, left is this, right is this, and then you have to do like diagonal and diagonal. This camera moves the same way as the players do. It's dire, because you're trying to like move up the thing, holding up, and then you want to try and change your angle to try and kick to the goal, but you have to like turn them first. What happened to the goal? And you find that you're running up and then you try and press kick and like up to the right, but he just kicks in a straight line off the pitch. I'm not even sure which button is shoot, to be honest, but yeah, it's a terrible game. And all the sprites are identical. It's kind of cool, it's got these little videos though. I think that is impressive. But I wish it didn't, because they're just disruptive. Looks like the first FIFA. Yeah. Once someone pointed out that it looked like FIFA, it made me realise that I think they've literally just like looked at FIFA and tried to copy it, but failed miserably. But actually, did they though? When did the first FIFA come out? 93. December 93. That theory's bust, because these both came out at the same time. This is Phantasy Star 2. It's called Violation. So this came out in late 93 as well, so yeah. Because I thought it was, because even, you know, like the background image scrolling around, it gives me very EA kind of vibes. But yeah, no, it must just be a coincidence. Because I thought it looked like a bad copy of FIFA. There's some good ponies. So the good news is that we're exactly where we were yesterday when I ended stream now. That's it. We are now back into 0 progress territory instead of minus progress. Yeah, GG on the 0. We're back in the 0. We're out of our Pelé overdraft. Thank you. It's all, you know, the worst part is I didn't even notice. Like, for about the first hour and a half of the stream, I just struggled through the first game, and then won and was so happy, and then realised, wait, wasn't that the one I did yesterday? Because I knew that, I thought we had 3 games left, and then it suddenly was the final. And I was like, wait, no, it can't be the final. But it was the final of the European Cup instead of the World Cup. I think this music's a little bit loud of late. Let me turn that down a bit. I wish the matches were shorter. They're all 10 minutes. Like, this is the lowest I can do. You can have 5 minutes each way, and I think it's a real 5 minutes. And it's so annoying when you lose in like the 8th minute. I lost yesterday one game in the 9 minute 45 seconds. They got a goal in. I was so upset. Well, I didn't lose, but they tied it into overtime, and then I lost. Because me getting a goal is a whole ordeal in itself. So it's basically just praying to get that single goal and then survive the rest of the time. Most goals usually happen by me kicking it somewhere and then the AI heading it in. Or a total fluke where the goalkeeper just goes in a weird direction. Oh, I'm going the wrong way. There's so many fouls in this game as well. Yeah, so the Wikipedias say. Sega Aussie Soft, I think it is. So in Australia. Apparently they refused to sell this game. Actually, so that answered my question, actually. So you won't have played this because it was refused to be sold in Australia. Yeah, they refused to sell it. So... Shake's Fist? What are they? Are they bad uns? Elaborate. Or are you just shaking your fist that you never got to buy Pelé? And the distribution of the Dreamcast. Well, you know, it swings and roundabouts. Like they said no to Pelé, and then they cocked up the Dreamcast, but they did save you from Pelé, so you can't be too mad. It's interesting that they would refuse it though. Just thinking from a business point of view, like if people want to buy a shit game, that's their business. But I guess it's, I mean, you think like, you know, like they did with the Saturn supposedly in North America, like no 2D games, or was that PlayStation? The no 2D games crap, to try and strengthen the brand. They did it with Sonic as well, didn't they? You know, like trying to discontinue the crap games. But like in 1993, are you pissing out? Wait, when did they get the other goal then? I should have reset ages ago. Like, I don't know, why were they so bothered in 93? People want to buy shitty Mega Drive games, that's their business. Pelé 2's bad. Oh, I already had a peek at it, G. It looks terrible. I actually thought it looked worse. Because it's ugly. And it's still the same controls. But I only played it for a minute. Football in Australia has come in heaps and bounds since the 90s. I don't know how big of a deal it was. But I mean, I suppose it's production cost if they thought it was not going to sell, maybe. Whoever's publishing it, maybe they would have been publishing it, I don't know. Are all these people Pelé? I wish. I think none of them are Pelé. Maybe the guy in the video, I'm not even sure. He's in the game though. His face is in the advice bit. He's also in the sequel. Whee! There he is. We had a peek at the opening for the sequel because I was trying to work out the controls. And so I thought the second game might give me a clue, and it didn't. But that was the beginning. He headbutts the Sega logo. It's incredible. Sony of America. Thank you for the lurk. Night, Mystical. Those are cartoons with activity. Oh, do you mean like Snow White and stuff? Lion King and those? I mean, for me, though, a lot of those games, if you've heard about them, if you don't know what we're talking about, but like those like 101 Dalmatians janky things. Yeah, my memories of those, I mean, I'm sure you could get them anywhere, but they were like the kind of things that would be sold in Asda for like $9.99. They were all like a service station. They were like not taken seriously. It's the kind of thing that your mom would buy by mistake in the supermarket. So I sort of get it. Like those crappy PC games that you get to, because I had some of them, like Dogs 3D or whatever it was. Pets 3D I remember getting from the service station once. Like £5, getting home and having my digital pet. I played one of them, those I think the Phoenix ones. I think we're talking about the same thing. I played one of them once. I can't remember where. I don't remember when my niece had one, and it was like, I don't know, Sleeping Beauty or something. They were pretty basic. But you know, sometimes the cheaper games were fun. I think it is often hindsight, and also, obviously this isn't everybody, not everybody's going to share the same opinion, but you know, people say like, oh, how stupid it was that they said like no 2D games and stuff, and Castlevania, like Symphony of the Night, what a joke, that it's like one of the best games ever, and people were like, reviewers were coming down on it for the graphics and stuff like that. But if I'm being honest, like, I love these games now, and I really don't care about graphics much, and when I go back and play PlayStation games, I actually sometimes prefer the 2D ones because they've sort of aged more gracefully. I do really like them. I did like Alundra in real time, and Suikoden I had in real time, and I thought that was fine, but like action, I feel like RPGs I was okay with having in 2D, but like action games, they felt dated to be in 2D at that point in time to me, as a like 10-year-old maybe. Would I be? Maybe 10 years old-ish? 11, 12, 13. Kind of feeling like a side-scrolling action game in 2D on the PlayStation just looked like it's a SNES game kind of thing. RPGs didn't really bother me in the same way, but yeah, I don't know. If I was looking at like Castlevania versus like Tomb Raider, I would want Tomb Raider. You hated all 3D. Well, you're a different person, but I was definitely like that, and so I can sort of understand the marketing, like what general, like my friends too. It was like at the time it was all about looking for this new technology and moving forwards and stuff. I'm sure that it might be an age thing depending on how old you are, a personality thing, but I do think there was truth to it. But I think we love to look back now and be like, oh, it's so stupid, the decisions that were made and stuff. It's like, well, some of them were probably just business sense. Did like Tomb Raider. 3D looked ugly. See, I didn't think 3D looked ugly. I was impressed with it. Some 3D looked ugly. I do remember thinking Final Fantasy VII was ugly though, compared to Suikoden. I thought the pixel art looked better. I thought Final Fantasy VII's 3D models looked bad. But it was also a little bit of an older game at the time. But I always thought Tomb Raider and stuff looked great. Metal Gear Solid was so good. Final Fantasy VIII was just blowing my mind when that came out. With the graphics on Final Fantasy VIII, stunning. The movie sequences as well. So yeah, because I do remember thinking. I remember my friend had Wild Arms. Last Laugh is on them, sort of. I like my childhood. But I do remember thinking Wild Arms looked like shitty and dated. I'm like playing like Final Fantasy VIII or whatever, and my friend was playing like Wild Arms, and I'm just like, ugh. I mean, it obviously is because it came out like '96 or something, so it's an unfair comparison. But I love Wild Arms now. I've played it later in life, and I totally vibe with it. But I remember definitely thinking when I was like 11 that Wild Arms looked crap. Resident Evil 2 looked great, yeah. Early 3D challenge, it did. I still think it does. I actually think it's really coming into its own for me personally, and a taste thing. I love PlayStation 1. I was just playing Tenchu the other night. I love it. I think it's really, really cozy. It went through growing pains with me, I think. Probably for most of like probably 2010s, 2000s, the PlayStation looked shitty. and then it's finally kind of matured into a nice wine for me now. And for a while I started thinking like PlayStation 2 actually looked a little bit janky, but I'm starting to get cozy nostalgia for PS2 now. You love 7, the graphics were pretty rough, yeah. I like them now, I think they're lovely. But yeah, sometimes I do think we tend to regurgitate information that we're told, and sometimes I think people's opinions don't always hold true. Like the YouTubes or the internets, they tell you that like this is how everybody felt, and it just starts to become this knee-jerk reaction to say. So it's like just sentences like the Saturn's better at 2D than the PlayStation, and just those sorts of comments and stuff. And it's like, well, what do you really think? And what did you think at the time and stuff? Like you get all these sweeping statements like this genre wasn't popular, those graphics weren't whatever. But then sometimes it's like, you know, I did live in that time and I did have an opinion, and my friends had opinions too. And also what's true for one country isn't true for mine. And even just within a country, like probably the people living in London probably had a different experience, different money and stuff. Tend to regurgitate. Yeah, we do. I think it's very true, because it's like I just said, you know, like, oh, Castlevania, it was such a great game, and like, oh, it's so beautiful and all this stuff, and it's like this overlooked game, and it's so loved now, and it's like, yeah, but it wasn't. You know, I actually found one recently. I think it was official PlayStation Magazine UK gave it 7 out of 10 and said it looked like the previous gen. You know, there sometimes there wasn't the nuance at the real time. PS2 was the last time you really was shocked how good game graphics has gotten. That's not for me. Games still wow me. I think even PS3, I still have those moments. I feel like now I don't. Games really do all look the same now to me. They all look the same sort of standard and quality. But Final Fantasy 13 was breathtaking. Absolutely breathtaking, I think. And The Last of Us Part 1 and Tomb Raider, the reboot, the intros to The Last of Us Part 1, that was and Uncharted 2, those games, they were like, okay, this is the next, like getting like a movie almost. It was crazy. But I don't think the leaps are smaller, but I still think they're big. They're still big leaps, but they're smaller. Biggest leap for me is probably the Dreamcast. Honestly, I think the Dreamcast was, because not everybody played the Dreamcast when it was brand new, and I think if you didn't, you won't get it. But the Dreamcast was like, it was next gen come way earlier. Like the Dreamcast, because the PlayStation 2 wasn't doing much yet. It was on the horizon but not out yet. But the Dreamcast was like sat there in the middle of PlayStation 1, like, oh, excuse me. The Dreamcast with like playing Shenmue while my friends were still playing, like, you know, Metal Gear Solid and Final Fantasy 9. And yeah, they're beautiful games, but Shenmue, Echo the Dolphin, Sonic Adventure, those games were gorgeous. My friends were playing like Spyro the Dragon 2 and I'm playing Sonic Adventure, and it was nuts. I was very blessed that my older brother bought a Dreamcast. Yeah, Castlevania overlooked. Who's going to be still today? They do. Resident Evil 8? I haven't played 8 yet. 7 blew me away though. Resident Evil 7 really was like, whoa. There's a huge jump in most things, though. I think, Demi, of that era. Even if you look at Mega Drive, 1988 Mega Drive to 1995 Mega Drive, it's a huge leap. PlayStation 1 is insane. If you look at like a game on the PlayStation from 95 and then look at 2000, it's bonkers. The huge leaps. And then PlayStation 2, like you just said. If you look at, like, I don't know, Dark Cloud or something really old on the PS2 and then look at Final Fantasy 12 at the end of it, whoa, is this the same console? But then I think the same for PlayStation 3. You've got like things like Heavenly Sword at the start. Final Fantasy 13 is a total fluke. Nothing looks like Final Fantasy 13 in 2000. Is it 2006 Final Fantasy 13 came out? Or 2008 even? Nothing looks like Final Fantasy 13. So ignore that one, because Square Enix used to just push stuff. But then you've got like the end of the PS3 era, like The Last of Us and Tomb Raider and Uncharted 3. All that stuff, it's bonkers. 2009. But yeah, that was just, yeah. Ridge Race and Gran Turismo. Gran Turismo is a pretty game. Do you know, if I was to say something nice about Pelé, let's say something nice, yeah. Do you know what I appreciate? The arrow on your head that lets you know which way you're going. Do you know how many football games I can't remember which way I'm going in the middle of them? But Pelé's always got you. It's the only thing that it's got going for it. Oh yeah, GTA and GTA 3. I mean, the leap from Final Fantasy 9 to Final Fantasy 10 is insane. I still have my religious, like my religious moments in video games where, you know, it's literally like, not religious, but what's the word? Like my I can't think of the word now. Spiritual moment. Religious experience, that's the one. My religious experience gaming moments are ooh, let's see. I feel like Secrets of Mana, playing that for the first time. Peeking at my brother playing that for the first time. No, not superstitious. Religious experience. Most of them are a bit older though, because I think I don't remember younger days as much, but oh, for goodness sake. PlayStation 1 era is definitely the intro to Final Fantasy 7 was definitely a good one, but the distinct one for me, Final Fantasy 8, that intro with Squall fighting Cypher and the music and the whole game with the whole montage and then the boom, Final Fantasy 8, that was like orgasmic moment in video gaming. Could not believe this existed, and I was just, this is it. How can graphics get any better than this intro? I can't see video games ever improving on this. I mean, and then, wow, obviously they did. But I just couldn't see. Like, for me, I remember with Final Fantasy 8, it was like the next step is like real people. It can't improve on this. And then I think what else for the PlayStation? Tomb Raider 4 was pretty good. I remember getting that and being like, whoa. The lighting, but it wasn't really, I wouldn't say it was that level. Shenmue is probably the next one, or just the Dreamcast in general. Shenmue and Echo the Dolphin blew me away, and then Final Fantasy X blew me away. Zone of the Enders blew me away actually though, because that was like one of the first games I ever played on the PlayStation 2. And then PlayStation 3, Tales of Exilia and Final Fantasy 13 were huge moments for me. Yeah. Oh, don't you miss old Squaresoft? I always thought they were better before they became Square Enix. They used to be absolute trailblazing pioneers of everything that they did. Like, the new Squaresoft, I mean, we didn't get anywhere near as many as you got in North America, but every time Squaresoft dropped a new Final Fantasy, it was like, we're gonna push the shit out of this hardware. I always bang on about it, but this is also why I feel so strongly about Legend of Dragoon. And again, I feel like this is regurgitated info. People love to regurgitate that it was a Final Fantasy killer, because it was marketed as a Final Fantasy killer or something apparently, or blah 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 blah. People love to parrot it though, as if it like... But I feel like everybody regurgitates it with the timeline canon that Legend of Dragoon came out as the answer to Final Fantasy VII, and everybody's got all their dates wrong, and they think, oh, it's so much better than Final Fantasy VII. I don't get why Final Fantasy VII was so popular. Legend of Dragoon is a much more attractive game. The FMVs, blah 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 blah. Oh, he does love tooting it. Hey, Barface. But Legend of Dragoon was not up against Final Fantasy VII. It came out after Final Fantasy VIII, and Final Fantasy VIII looks so much better. I'm sorry. It's nothing to do with fun, but I mean it's just, well, it's just an RPG. It's made in response to Final Fantasy's success, but it's not. You can't compare it to Final Fantasy VII. Final Fantasy VII came out in 1997. Dragoon came out in '99 and didn't even see like Western countries until, I mean, Europe. It didn't come out until 2000. It came out at the end of '99, I think. And Final Fantasy VIII was already out. Dragoon came out in between Final Fantasy VIII and Final Fantasy IX. That's why I didn't get it initially, because when Dragoon was coming out, Final Fantasy IX was on the horizon. I was saving my monies for that. And don't get me wrong, I like Dragoon. I have huge nostalgia for it, but I just get really bored of this like rewriting of how events unfolded, as if like it got done dirty by the evil Final Fantasy. But it's like we didn't. It came out, it had a fair chance, and people spoke with their money, and Final Fantasy 8 and 9 looked way better and got better reviews. That's how it unfolded. If you could afford both, you probably did if you were into RPGs, but the bigger game won. Why we gotta be so like resentful about it? I get very tired of gaming conversations trying to rewrite previous successes and pretend that stuff wasn't actually good. It's really tiring for me. It's like it just goes around. Everybody's got to have their shit hot take. Like, yet again recently I've just seen people going on about like Sonic 1 isn't actually good. Oh, fuck off. Just piss off. I can't be arsed with it. If you don't like Sonic, that's your business, but it was a good game. Yeah, exactly. Need clicks. Oh, it's just so exhausting to try and pretend that Sonic 1 wasn't a good game. Because what it always does, screening to wanted to get Adventures of Elliot. What it always does with the Sonic conversation, nobody puts it in time context at all. They always pull it out in this vacuum where they just look at it as an individual video game in like 2026. And it's like, no, you need to put it in 1991 with all the other games that were out at the time and all the other platformers that were out at the time and stuff, and then have an opinion about it. Like, if you go through the list of Mega Drive platformers that came out before Sonic, there's not that many great ones. Like, Castle of Illusion is wonderful. Hate classic Sonic. No, it was good. Same as Zelda. Like, there's so many games that the people love to go around over and over again. Like, Final Fantasy VII was never good. Ocarina of Time was never good. The one that gets me, though, like, nobody's bothered with Metal Gear Solid yet. I'm still waiting. Like, I think people just can't get out of Kojima's arse, though. It's not cool to dislike Kojima. When does Milan keep getting this first goal in? This keeps happening. Keep saying Milan 2. I swear the offside is counting as a goal. But we always have to reevaluate all these classics. Just leave them. Leave them. The past handful of years trying to understand gaming perspectives in South America and Europe so you can be less ignorant. That's really interesting. I mean, and that's also another thing that's very true, because people love to the internet loves to just follow the North American narrative. Do you know what I watched recently? This is totally off topic, but obviously Madonna's doing new music at the moment, and there's been some videos I saw recently on YouTube. I didn't even realise, really, but it was just talking about how some of Madonna, it's obviously from an American point of view, and it's like this sort of revelation that Madonna was still relevant in other countries other than America, and some of her albums that didn't do so well there did well in other countries, and I'm like, yeah. But even I was a little bit surprised about a couple of these, because it was like her American Life album and the song American Life, but then the other songs that she did from that album too, like Love Profusion, which apparently the internet has just discovered again, saying how it was a total flop or something. I don't think it barely even like had any coverage in America or whatever, but it had loads of airplay in the UK. It was definitely not a very popular album though, I would say, but I remember the singles from it. Love Profusion had loads of airplay. Had a funny rap. Yeah, it's weird though. I mean, obviously it was slightly controversial, but yeah. But then she had other stuff as well, like the Erotica album. I think did much better in Europe than it did in America. But it's just funny that, because it's like the same thing that's just happened with Kylie Minogue when she's done that song Padam, and it's like America's finally discovered Kylie Minogue, but it's like, well, yeah, welcome to the party. You're like 25 years late. Like, the rest of the world has been banging away to Kylie Minogue for forever. Like, she might have been a one-hit wonder in America, but she's an absolute superstar in the UK. Like, hit after hit after hit after hit after hit. She never went away. Like, maybe briefly in the 90s. And then Australia too, I would say. Ray of Light, one of her biggest albums. I think it just depends on perspectives and decades, really. Madonna's biggest albums, I mean, her 80s stuff is big. Ray of Light was definitely one of them. I don't know if it is the biggest, but then again, it might be the biggest just in terms of how consumption changed. Overall though, for all time, do you know what I think one of probably her biggest selling albums, it wouldn't surprise me if it was the Immaculate Collection, which is just the greatest hits. I could imagine that one being one of her biggest sellers. I believe the Spice Girls fell off the earth. Yeah, that's another thing. The Spice Girls were an absolute phenomenon. The thing with the Spice Girls though that I even find funny and forget is that the timeline of the Spice Girls is so much shorter than you think it is. It was like 2 years, but it felt like a decade. But it was an intense 2 years. Because they pretty much, I think they started in 96, and by the end of 98 they'd split. Well, lost Jerry. I'm so over that. But they had so many number ones in the UK. Did they have 3 Christmas number ones? or two. They had Christmas one. I think they had Christmas number ones for 96, 97, 98, right? But their Christmas number one for 98 was their goodbye song after Jerry had gone. When you think of Madonna's, you don't think of the 80s? Wow, I think maybe you're just not a big Madonna fan, because Madonna's huge 80s music. Like, Get Into the Groove, Like a Virgin. True Blue, Cherish, Who's That Girl? Open Your Heart. She's just, yeah, I don't know. Superstar, legend by the 90s. Ray of Light was a whopping big album though, because the track Ray of Light itself was just a big hit. You've heard way more 90s? I feel like 90s she had a slight dip. It's probably her age though, if anything. I mean, it's not that it's my age either, but I'm just a big Madonna fan, so I retroactively went back through her old library. I grew up with her 80s stuff though. I've always liked Madonna since I was a little kid, even though my family didn't. That's how much of a hardcore Madonna fan I was as a kid. One of my earliest childhood memories of kind of music is her song Cherish. I remember loving it. I think I must have been about, like, I don't know, a toddler, and I just remember being really, really mesmerised by that song. Hey Sadie. I'll remember. That is such a lovely song, yeah. It's a beautiful song, and it is very lesser known. It's from a movie as well, isn't it? I remember. What album is that on? That's like the one before Ray of Light. Actually, it might not even be on an album. It's not on Bedtime Story, is it? A League of Their Own? No, that's This Used to Be My Playground. I'll remember as like mid-90s. Like it's probably about 97, 96, 98. She's got the same... The song... What's the song where she's dressed up in the kimono? It's that era of Madonna. I think... She's not necessarily my most favourite. I really like the song she did called The Next Best Thing as well, from the movie The Next Best Thing. It's a college movie with Brendan Fraser. That's the one. I don't think it's on an album. I think it's just a soundtrack, like Beautiful Stranger. And that's another late 90s Madonna, Ray of Light kind of time period, Beautiful Stranger. That was a huge hit in the UK. I don't know about America, but... Die Another Day. Yeah, Die Another Day wasn't great. I like Human Nature as well, G. What was I thinking? Absolutely no regrets. But some of her, it's weird, the internet has recently just kind of discovered her erotica era. And, because it sort of always had the reputation of being her low point, but there's some good stuff there. Like Deeper and Deeper is a good song. That was pretty big, I think, in the clubbing scene in the 90s, not that I was a part of it. I also liked Thief of Hearts, which I think the internet has literally just found. Kid in the bottom right dancing to Madonna. No, I love Madonna's music. I think she's just we don't need to necessarily like everybody on a personal level deeply, but I can respect her. I like her. I find her a little bit harder to like in more recent years. I have my certain levels of disappointment with her, but I also just think like she's just a person, you know, and she also is not lived in the same world as everybody else for like 40 years now. You know, it's going to have a certain effect on you because she's literally been a music legend for about, well, at least 35 years. Even though she's been in the business longer, but you know, by the 90s, she's pretty much already like a superstar. Never going to be normal ever again. But my main disappointment with her was I like more how she looks now, but I was feeling like she wasn't aging gracefully, and it was bothering me. And by aging gracefully, I don't mean like dressing like an old woman or something like that, but it just looked like she might have had things done to her appearance, and it was bothering me because I always thought that she was very pro no alterations. Material Girl, I love. Yeah, that was another one that I should have said big 80s hits, but I love Material Girl is such a great song. But I always remember, you know, Madonna's very famous for the gap in her teeth. And one story I always loved about her was that she apparently she did a magazine shoot or something, and they filled in the gap, and she went crazy about it. Like, don't you ever fucking touch my photos like that. Like, I have a gap in my teeth, and demanded that they removed it, and I always loved that. Because it's what makes her look like her. Oh my god, we got a goal! Is that the first second? Oh my god, we got to survive 10 minutes now. So, I wonder if she's eased down on it a bit. The thing is though, she's sometimes, like, there is a certain degree that's probably going to be plastic surgery with celebrities, but also they can afford the best fitness health people, the best food, you know? Like, she can afford to have all of her meals personally cooked by a nutritionist. You know, they don't live in the same planet that we do. Cones on her tits come from, the spiky cones. She did it in her Blonde Ambition era. Her tours. It was a thing in the 90s. I mean, that's the thing with Madonna. She's had so many looks and stuff. You can't always even remember whether she actually did it or not. But no, she did. If you look up Blonde Ambition tour, she was wearing the cones with the. She had the long blonde ponytail and then the cone bra. But she's had so many iconic looks like that. She's had Express Yourself with the suit with the cutouts on the chest. There's a lot of stuff that people repeat now that we take for granted and forget that Madonna kicked the door down on that. I mean, the music video for Express Yourself is brilliant, with her like grabbing a crotch and wearing a suit. And like G mentioned, a song that most people probably don't really know so well, called Human Nature, is a brilliant kind of provocative song. That's probably why it didn't do very well. But the video is very raunchy, especially for the time. She was very out there though in the 90s. It was very weird when she was doing her sex book and stuff and nude pictures, and most of her music was very sexually charged. But this was like post-AIDS crisis, when sex had become like terrifying. Lady Gaga can't not acknowledge Madonna, I think. You know. Hey, 6 and 2 thank you the raid. How are you? I'm probably going to end rather soon, but
what a thrill.
Thank you,
Six
thank you.
6 Thirds has just rated.
6
Is it
Thirds.
fabulous?
Hey, Freddie. Welcome in, everybody. We are just playing Pelé and chatting about Madonna. Don't ask. I'm trying to beat every Mega Drive game, and this is one of them. Yeah, we've made almost no progress tonight. Thanks for the follow. Thank you for the 6 bits, as you always do. You got it before I got out. But yeah, there's a list of my Mega Drive games and the genres. You saw a pic of that recently. What were you up to today, anyway? About shopping at Kiss for Christine and Brittany was. Oh yeah, it's totally ho-hum now. I didn't like that though. I have to admit, I think that was a bit tacky. It was very 2000s. I hated when bisexuality became trendy in the like the Katy Perry era kind of stuff. I thought it was pretty vile. Like, just let's do something bisexual to get attention. It was a constant thing that was going on. It was not very classy. Shopping it with Super Metroid. I've only ever gone through that once. And not too long ago. Was never a Katy Perry fan. No, I've never been a Katy Perry fan. To be honest, I don't have like a huge, like I'm not gonna like campaign about her or something, but she never really did much for me. It was that first song, to be honest. It was first impressions. Her first impression was shit, and I kind of never got over it. I could never stop seeing her as the I Kissed a Girl and I Liked It person, and I thought that song was just trash. Tattoo made it. I kind of didn't mind Tattoo though. I like Tattoo. It's a shame it was fake. Tattoo, God, that's ancient though. Yeah, that, I mean, I would say Tattoo, that's like way ahead of the curve of that. God, I forgot about that. Because like Katy Perry and all that's like late 2000s, isn't it? That's like 2000, what, 2008, 2009 kind of thing? When did Britney and Madonna do that song together? That's got to be about 2007. Tattoo's like 2001? I feel like when Tattoo would do it, well, no, there was definitely some girls in school that were suddenly wanting to be like Tattoo, but yeah. I still think Tattoo Malchik Gay is an absolute banger though. Tattoo with a one-hit wonder. I mean, Europe is a vague... I can't answer for Europe, to be honest. I can only talk for about the UK. Europe is so nuanced, one country and another, because it's literally countries. But in the UK, All the Things She Said was a huge hit. And then Not Gonna Get Us had a lot of airplay. Friend or Foe had a lot of airplay though. Friend or Foe had decent airplay. I wouldn't say it was a hit, but I definitely saw it on TV a lot when it came out. I think that would be it for their songs. But their first album was pretty popular with teens. Not mainstream though. Like my older sister, she'd have hated it. Any tattoo we got was Moscow with Rammstein. You got Only Thing She Said. Psycho Victoria's theme music. Whatever I'm just in the cheeky girl. I kind of like the cheeky girls a little bit. My guilty pleasure is the Cheeky Christmas. No! We need them. Everybody come together. It's a hot, hot Christmas night. I think America, you got spared the Cheeky Girls, right? Or did you just get it from like YouTube X Factor stuff? But yeah. You never, never dance, what do you do? So good. I like Have a Cheeky Christmas Time though. I think it's just... I miss people just making Christmas music. This is a British rant, but I miss the Christmas #1. I miss the novelty Christmas songs, and I don't mean just whatever that YouTube is, the food baby thing, whatever. I miss just like artists coming out with a Christmas song. I miss Christmas music sounding like Christmas. X Factor ruined it all. And I'm still angry that The Darkness didn't win Christmas #1 that year, and bloody Mad World, that dirge version of Mad, and I still think that awful version of Mad World triggered the wave that we still haven't, you know the melancholy acoustic cover of pop music that's used in every trailer ever. It all started with that. And it should have been The Darkness with Christmas Time, Don't Let the Bells End instead. The slow down old music. Yeah, I hate that trend. And it's been going for 20 years. When will it stop? All around me are familiar faces. Ugh! Christmas #1. So bad. Beat them. Because I like to reminisce, like old Christmas. I put on, like UK playlists sometimes over here when it's like getting Christmassy time. I listen to the old Christmas songs, anything like Boney. Like Christmas music in the UK, I've realised is totally not the same as America at all. There's so many songs that you just don't have in your culture that we do. Like, I mean, maybe some of these you might do. I'm just going to throw out songs now, but like stuff like Boney oh, bollocks! Like Boney what else have we got? Slade, Wizard. I just miss all that music. I even like Destiny's Child's Doesn't It Feel Like Christmas? Because it felt like Christmas. We need good Christmas music back. You like the one from Toys? I love that one as well. Wendy and What's It, isn't it? The closing of the year, that's a good song. E17, yeah. Stay now. But yeah, the Cheeky Girls, that's why we're talking about Christmas. Cheeky Christmas time, it's good. Did you never see the Cheeky Girls take your shoes off? You know what you probably also didn't get in America? Did you get Daphne and Celeste? Ooh, stick you. I think they are American though, but I think you must have booted them out on their ass. Like, we finally repaid you by sending you James Corden, whatever his name is, can't remember now. But yeah, Daphne and Celeste were a thing. I recently remembered. Do you remember? Were they called Superstar? But they did a song called Coffee. It's like, I like my man like I like my coffee, hot, strong, and sweet like toffee. I forgot that song existed until the other week. And then I was looking them up, and then I was remembering more and more songs by them. Like, wait, what? Oh my god, they did a song called We're Going Shopping. You just watching the Cheeky Girls? Oh, the Hot Pants things, yeah, because they did the dance where they spin around with their hands in the air and shake their ass. Ooh, boys, Cheeky Girls. I quite like, is it Kelly Clarkson's Christmas song as well? That's a good one that took me a while to notice. That's a more newer one, even though it's not that new. And what's her name? Leona Lewis? Isn't it weird? Like, Leona Lewis did the song for Final Fantasy 13, didn't she? Isn't that like surreal? I'm making up music. I am not. There was a time. My friend was saying this the other day. Like, I was so into music when I was a teenager. I feel like from the period, and also when music television became new, like my sister got the cable. We only had like Sky in my household, and not a lot of people had Sky, but my sister got cable because she lived in a different town, and I couldn't get it where I lived, and we had to wait like 2 years or something before we could get like the cable that became like. You remember it was like Diamond Cable, and then it was what were they called? NTT? And then they got bought out by Virgin, and that's where they are now. Virgin Media bought NTL, NTT, something like that. But my sister got cable first, and she had the box. You know, the music jukebox channel, the box. And that was the only one that existed at the time. And the only things that before that was just MTV and VH1. But MTV and VH, like especially MTV, it spent more time just showing like crap TV shows than actually showing music. Like, you know, you watched them, but it was just like Singled Out and You Gotta Go was on all the time, and not actually music. And VH1 did have music, but it also had a lot of stuff like, you know, behind the music and pop-up video and all that stuff. So my sister got the box, and I was obsessed with watching the box when I was like probably like 10 and onwards. And I just used to watch music TV all the time. And when I was a teenager as well, I'd say for me, like most music from about 1998, maybe 97, a little bit earlier too. But most general mainstream pop music, even if it wasn't a huge hit, but it just had a little bit of airplay during that time period. I feel like I know most music that had airplay in the UK that was general pop from about 98 to about 2010 maybe, you know. I just kind of know it all, even the shit stuff, because I just used to watch music TV all the time. But that's also something I think that's totally changed about society now. Like, the way that people engage with media and music is totally different. Like, you don't have to engage with things that you don't like anymore. But when you know, in the 90s and the 2000s and older, you had to listen to this stuff. Like, if I'm watching music TV and a crap song comes on, well, it's tough. That's it. There's nothing else. I can't just swipe right and filter it away forever and search for something else. I'm just waiting to see what comes on next. I want to hear some music. I've got to wait and hope that it comes on. See what's coming out. Find out what music I like and stuff. And once it's been on, I can't watch it again until it comes on again. So by doing that, that's why I know so much music, because even the stuff I didn't like, I still listen to it. Yeah, it's almost gone. People can live in their own vacuums now, and you don't need to engage with anything that they dislike. But I also think that sometimes you end up you can be too quick to decide you don't like something and forever exclude yourself from it. In your music taste as a child, you dislike 97%. See, I liked it. I was very much part of my decade. I enjoyed myself. I was very engaged with 2000s media, TV shows, music. Watched a lot of American TV shows in the 2000s though. That definitely was the thing that shifted, I think, in the UK. Like Black Licorice. I hate Black Licorice. Have you been lurking? Because that's been coming up the last like 2 days. Why were we talking about Black Licorice? Was that it? Wait, that was in Hypno. That was in Hypno Space Outlaw, wasn't it? Black Licorice. That was like 2 days ago. music was in video games. I just kind of liked it all. But then it's like I say with the cheeky girls. Yay! I have a soft spot for the cheeky girls. I just listened to it, even though it was kind of shit. There's Twitch lag. And yeah, I think you're just a sneaky lurker. Thank you for the lurk. See, you never know who's watching. Who's gonna call you up on your black licorice hate 2 days later? Next year, somebody will be saying, "I heard you like the cheeky girls." I'll be like, "You heard right." Come on now, Pelé. Is this over yet? Yum. Black licorice. When? Oh my God, Cisco's thong song. Let me think if I can. My instant knee-jerk reaction was 1998, but now I'm like, no. Can't have been 98. That's too early. Two thousand. America's a bit can throw you. It can't be 98, surely. I don't know why I've just got 98 in my head, but it just doesn't make any sense. It seems like it would be too early. 2000. No, I'm saying 98. I want no. 99, damn it. I was close. Can't recall the lyrics to that one. She was looking so scandalous. No one ever handled us. She was living la vida loca. Why? This is just useless shit that's in my brain. I don't think I've listened to the Fong song in about 25 years. But it's still there. You could eat all the black licorice jelly beans. I always give the licorice stuff to my brother. And then for Cisco in the UK, my Cisco experience as a Brit was the Thong song, and then Unleash the Dragon. And then he kind of disappeared. I think I can't think of any other songs. I don't really want to Unleash the Dragon. Was that from a movie? Was that from like Rush Hour? Unleash the Dragon? Or did he do another song that was from Rush Hour? Don't you dare! Just come on. We're so close! Stop! Stop! Oh my God. Got to Get It was Rush Hour. Maybe I know that song then. Upside Inside Out. Well, that's Ricky Martin. She had dumps like a truck, yeah. Do you know who I used to love though? 2000s early. I used to love Missy Elliott lyrics. Oh my God, we won! Right, I need to make a save. We've saved. There we go, lot. We've definitely saved the game, okay? You haven't thought about Missy Elliott? Oh, you should do. You should... Oh, Missy Elliott. Get me started. Missy Elliott, what was it? Was it the MTV? Was it the VMAs? About 5 years ago? They honoured her in a... Or she had a little show in it. Oh, what a career. That was such a good showcase of Missy Elliott. Why have we gone to Rome versus Milan? Manchester versus Rio. No, I think... Oh, it is! It's the final. This could be it. It's going to take ages, though. Rio versus Manchester. She did a song recently which I really liked as well, called Throw It Back, which was good. She did about maybe 4 or 5 years ago, Missy Elliott, Throw It Back. Probably even longer now, you know. I bet it's before COVID and I've just forgotten. The World Cup final, I wasn't watching. Literally the other day someone said, oh, you're going to play Pelé now that the World Cup's finished. I was like, oh, is it finished? Who won? Don't even know. Balls were kicked, yeah. People were won. We're playing against Data again from the Next Generation. But yeah, anyway, there's a ton of shit music that I know. Or just questionable music. There's music that I kind of secretly like. Yeah, you know, if you want a really bad deep cut. Oh, let me check who did it. I sent this Dreamy the other day and she was just like, well, I sent it before actually, just forgotten. There's a song that we had in the oh, there we go. If you YouTube No Way No Way by Vanilla, this is a dreadful song. And there's probably a few Brits that know this and have just forgotten it exists, but Critical Interrupt, you're welcome. It uses the Phenomena from the Muppets as the jingle. It's like these very working class British girls with accents, yes. Do do, no way, no way. Do 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 do. Mana. No way, no way. Mana. Not today. Don't get fresh with me. It's so bad. But that's the kind of thing that, like, why do we remember this music? It just was. It was not even a big hit, was it? I don't even know where it would have placed in the charts. Nowhere good. And I don't think they ever did another song again. It was awful. But it was the kind of song that made you stop in your tracks. These days it would probably go like viral as a meme. But it was the equivalent of a viral meme on the television. I remember my sister just being like, get this shit off. Whenever it came on. Oh, I like Lady Sovereign. Start saying cookies instead of biscuits. Everybody get random. Lady Sovereign is a treasure. I could never work out if Lady Sovereign was serious or not. She's like the Council Estate white version of Missy Elliott. Like we've got British Council Estate Missy Elliott at home, but we don't. But she's got that same sort of, it's like almost like kind of humorous rap, but it's not as good. That Random was kind of funky though with the beat. Oh piss! Oh, I comedy I can promote? I don't know that. I didn't watch American Idol. Councillors hate Missy Elliott, yeah. There might get random. What was the other song that she did that was quite good? Love Me or Hate Me. 9 to 5, that was what it was, wasn't it? Oh my gosh, my days are getting longer. I'm working a 9 to 5. You know, actually, do you know who Lady Sovereign is, actually? She's not Missy Elliott, she's Princess Superstar. It's the same energy. I fucking love Princess Superstar. And I love how the world has rediscovered Princess Superstar because of Saltburn. I loved Princess Superstar, like, I was totally alone in my shame, enjoying Bad Babysitter and Perfect. Perfect is a fucking banger though. It was amazing. That was a huge clubbing song for me. But a lot of people didn't know the Princess Superstar original version because we had the, I want to say it was European done, maybe even, I don't know who did it, but somebody, I want to say, like, was it, when did Perfect, because it's called Perfect Exceeder, isn't it? And it's like a mixture, and it samples it's by Mason, 2007. So I was clubbing. This is my clubbing days. Dutch musician Mason. This was such a huge song. Every club. That's why it's so funny now that like Saltburn has put it back on the map in people's minds. But that song, Perfect Exceeder, in like 2007, 2008, every fucking club was playing that in the UK all the time. To me, I associate that song with like being in the toilet or something. You know, when you're like talking to your friend and you're in the toilet. And I was obviously in quite a few gay clubs, so there was a lot of unisex bathrooms, but I'd be in with my friends like chatting, and you can just hear the music like pulsating through the door. And then the door flies open and someone walks in and you can just hear that kind of like 1, 2, 3, 4. That is just my clubbing days. And then like about 4 years ago it suddenly started going viral again. That song was in Wipeout HD. But the Princess Superstar version is quite a bit like different kind of beat, but I still like it. There's also another song. I can't remember what it was called though. Does anybody remember a song? It just used to go. It was some clubbing song that used to be everywhere back then. I'm sure a woman singing, but I can't remember any of the words. Like, YouTube ambiance videos of early 2000s in the bathroom of the club sound. Oh, that is such a vibe. Fede Legrand, is that the song? Let me think about it. I think that is it, yeah. Put your hands up for Detroit. Hey, Bran. I think that's quite my clubbing days. I remember like when I was first clubbing properly. Like Manchester clubbing back in the UK. Rihanna Umbrella had landed. And like, God, how huge of a song Umbrella was. I think we don't remember now how huge Umbrella was, or at least in the UK. I guess it was in America too, but that was such a big song for that year. And because they used to play a club version of it all the time. They used to do this like high tempo version. I used to go Ella, 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 Ella all the time. It was, I mean, it's probably just DJs, but they just could not leave that song alone. Yeah, every club, Umbrella, Ella, 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 Ella. By the sunshine we shine together. It was all like fast beat. I loved it though. I mean, I actually wasn't really a big Rihanna fan, but I was totally there for the Good Girl Gone Bad album. Breaking Dishes and what was the other one that was good on there? What was the one that she sampled the Michael Jackson song on it? Please Don't Stop the Music. Usher, yeah, that got loads of airplay. I don't think I was quite clubbing then. Yeah, because like, what happened to Usher? I used to be really into trance though before that, like before I was clubbing. I was because we got loads of good trance, like Barfish, you know all this, but we got loads of good trance stuff in Europe in the 2000s, proper like good trance dance tracks, loads of like random covers, you know, stuff like Eric Prydz, is it Pride's Call on Me and United Nations Out of Touch and Waiting for a Star to Fall. All those sorts of remixes, I used to love it. And that Last Night a DJ Saved My Life. There was this other song as well, was it something like Motherfucker's Gonna Drop the Pressure or something like that, was it? And it was like sampling Dr. Pressure. Doctor, I got this feeling. It was a good time to be alive. I used to go around in my friend's car. Oh, get out of here, Rio. Actually, last Christmas, this is just reaching a certain age now, but last Christmas I went over to that friend. Used to always drive around in a car in like, well, probably about 17, 18. And she used to play loads of clubbing sort of dance tracks like that. And last Christmas, I went over and we bought like a couple of bottles of wine and ended up just playing music on Alexa in the kitchen and just dancing around in the kitchen, drinking all those sorts of old tunes, not going out. I forgot all about Nerd until like a couple of months ago, and I was just like, shit, I forgot how many songs that they did. She Wants to Move, yeah. Mister, I see you, whatever it was. Dun, 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 dun. I totally forgot all that music existed. And Rockstar. So I think sometimes we just think it's Pharrell and forget that it was a group. Ministry of Sound compilation CD. Remember Quackshot? Quackshot makes for good football music. Yeah, my clubbing days, I was into that Rihanna album. I was also very much into Madonna Hard Candy at the time, which is not probably one of her most successful albums, but I listened to it a lot. It was the one that had she did the 8 minutes with Justin Timberlake, and she did Give It To Me with Pharrell. Don't stop me now. 'Cause I know you're gonna 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 You got Usher in the background, overlaid with Quackshot, overlaid with Pelé. Yeah, if only I could play, like, obviously copyright and all that crap, but yeah, if only I could play music like that, I'd be having a right jamming old time. I'd be playing some Cheeky Girls. No way, no way. Do 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 do. Mana mana. Not today. Don't get fresh with me. Is it something like we got each other, sisters through and through? It's such a wretched record. I wonder where they are now, and what they're doing, and what did they think they were doing? Did they think they were going to be the next Spice Girls? Vanilla. Beautiful. It's lovely, wasn't it? Call centers. Is that how they answer the phone? Someone's being sassy. It's how they deal with the problem. No way, no way. Mana mana. I still can't, like, there must be a certain age of Brits that can't say, like, no way without, like, no way, no way. Dreamy has a wonderful channel in her Discord. I should make one, but she's got a channel of just like worst, like terrible jank music, and we went down some rabbit holes a while ago. That was my contribution. Oh my god! No way music. It's my ending music. I done it, Ken. What is that song? The American song. Dreamy shared it with me, and it changed me forever. Oh God, what was it called? It's cold in somewhere. It's so cold in. Oh, what was it? You must know what it is. Cold in the something. Oh my god, I was dying. I can't believe I've lived my whole life not seeing that before. I mean, it felt kind of familiar though. Like, is that like, maybe it was like old YouTube that I forgot, but I can't think of the song. It's so cold in the something. It's like a place in America, isn't it? I think it's more of an internet song though than a proper song, but yeah. Still same energy. In the D, is that it? It's So Cold in the D by T-Baby. 2008. Yeah, I'm not sure if it's a song recorded by American rapper T-Baby. I mean, it's got a good message, but yeah, it's something. It's been covered by New Kids on the Block and Usher. What the fuck? It went viral in 2008. I don't think I had the internet in 2008. Chocolate Rain, yeah. I remember Chocolate Rain. And obviously Mariah Carey, the Touch My Body. Put me on the floor. NKOTB? What's that? I just had a year in uni where we didn't have the internet. I moved in with a friend and we just didn't pay for it. So I didn't have access for a lot of the time. Oh, New Kids on the Block. Yeah, it's not my generation really. I don't... They were a little bit big in the UK though, I think. Because like my friend's older sister, was into them. But we had our own boy bands too, though. They weren't Backstreet Boys level of famous, I would say. Love Prince, love when doves cry. Love some Prince, love that Prince. Love Trust from Batman. And Party Man. Raspberry Beret is probably my favourite Prince song now. I like Raspberry Beret, little Corvette, little red Corvette. Let's go crazy. Cream. Never been that big on Purple Rain though. I don't dislike it, but it's not my go-to. It's too slow. 1999 I've heard too much, it annoys me. Do you remember obviously the year 1999? I remember being alive in 1999 and having to listen to Prince for an entire fucking year. Until the millennium finally went by. I think we all forget how much that song got played. Sinead cover. How is you not here? Nothing compares to you. It's been, I can't remember, what is it, 7 hours? She's died now, hasn't she? You forget some people are gone. Prince is gone as well. You know, I mean, obviously I've been very vocal. I don't like talking about deaths if they've been like in the last like 24 hours or whatever. But you know, things like Sam Neill, it's been a while now. We can have the conversation, but that was a shocker. I always think there should be a grace period of maybe 2 days before we discuss it, like live on Twitch or something, because you never know who does and doesn't know, and reactions and whatever. But yeah. That was that jump scared me. Like when I remember, I was just like, I think I was just going to make a coffee or something, and I opened my phone and opened Bluesky, and it just was boom straight in my face, that news, and I was like, whoa, shit. Actually made my heart jump like this. No, am I reading that wrong? I was very shocked. I didn't even realise he was 78. It's like my mum's age. It's depressing. Yeah, I've got to finish this Mega Drive project. Yeah, it's also just a boundary I want to put out there because, I mean, let's just say, for example, like, you've just heard me talk about Madonna really, really deeply, right? How much I've loved Madonna's music, how important she is to me, how important she is to my life. If she suddenly died and somebody said, "Oh my God, Madonna's dead," like that, I'm ending stream. I can't. I'm done. I'm not going on. Do you know what I mean? Like, I would rather find that out in my own way, kind of thing. I can't move on from that news, and I can't carry on playing video games. I'm done for the day. So it's just more that sort of an angle. I don't want to have to react live. Not a big fan of the heavy news drops, no. But at the same time, you know, I can understand, like, not everybody... I think when you're on the other side, you might not realise. And I don't think it's always necessary. Some people, it's the desire to be a town crier, but sometimes it's not with malicious intent. It's just you don't necessarily think how it might come across on the other side. Some people, like, I've posted in Discord and stuff, but like even just everybody's different. Like talking to some other friends, some people don't even like it in a Discord. So, well, sometimes people just want to share their experience. I think, you know, like, oh, this happened, and oh my god, I'm feeling something, and I want to talk about it. And we talk about a lot of stuff, don't we? So you might not necessarily occur to you that that's not up for discussion, you know. It's just we want to chat about something that's happened. It's like the same with any news, you know, like a video game. Did you hear the news that this is coming out or whatever? It's just a did you hear the news conversation, but yeah, it can have a big impact emotionally. Oh my god, I'm glad I wasn't live when Queen Elizabeth died. I don't think I was even streaming then. Not a lot of the deaths have really shook me though. They're getting more and more like it now though. I mean, cast members of Buffy keep passing away. Anthony Stewart Head was very shocking. I was live when I found out about that actually, but I quite explicitly said let's not talk about it, and someone continued to keep bringing it up. But that wasn't originally because of Twitch, that was just a friend sent me a DM from back home, and I read it while I was on my Be Right Back screen. I was just like, oh my god. But it's one of those things. Like, if you've made a mistake and if it happens, as long as you can, like, just own it and apologise and move on from it, there's nothing to get upset about, and vice versa. It's people that just won't listen, that's the problem. Like I said, when Anthony Stewart Head passed away, I mentioned it because I knew it had happened. I just said, because we ended up talking about Buffy, and I said, I have obviously seen the news that has just happened, but let's not go there. And someone just kept going there, and I had to explicitly say, can you not? Like, please. And then they carried on, and it's like, please just listen, I'm saying don't. That's when it's rude. Yeah, it is. Oh my god, is that it? So reset themselves and someone's passing. Push the person next die, person wide eye, person. Well, yeah, sometimes that's the thing. Sometimes it's sometimes not even about anything. It's just that I want to break the news and be the first or whatever. Did I just score again? We're bringing it back. But yeah, let's move on. It's a depressing thing. But you know, I've said it. You know where I stand. No need for another net. My thing here, though, like with you can have faux pas. People can put their foot in their mouth and make mistakes. As long as you aren't going to challenge me about it and can just accept that it's a mistake, we can move on. But then you'll get some people that just dig their heels in the ground, or just continue to be rude. Those are the people that I wave goodbye to, like we had the other day. You know, with that person who's been rude on several occasions now. Just like, yeah, okay, you can't read the room, you're gone, kind of thing. But I can draw a line under something. I don't hold a grudge if it's been handled in the right way. Oh fucking hell! I hold a grudge with this. I hold a grudge. Yeah, everybody's allowed to make mistakes,
Oh, you real?
but you can learn, you know, for next time, and you're allowed a next time. Some people don't let people even like make mistakes. I find that to be draining too. Depends what the mistake is, obviously within reason, but some people just like they will just, oh, you're dead to me, goodbye forever, kind of, you know. Just because someone said something that was like maybe slightly off. Learning sounds hard. Bad sports games grudges are forever. But I'm definitely getting to a place in my streaming life where my patience is getting... Oh my gosh. My patience is getting thinner with attitudes. I'm getting less hesitant to just get rid of bad energy, you know? I don't need to put up with rudeness. It's not. It's also, some of it's not even just me. Like, it's everybody. I'm sometimes doing it for you too. It's a collective. It's our benefit. Like that. The comments the other day. It's just we're having a good time and we're vibing, and you've come in and ruined everybody's vibe. Not just mine. I'm annoyed, but you've also just come in, interrupted the good time that is being had. You've come into our corner of the pub, jumped on the table, and been really rude. I'm just going to lock the door so that you can't come in again now. And I'm still wondering, what is going on with this game? What is going on? Why do I keep scoring? I couldn't do it at all earlier. I'm still wondering what all those comments about Richard were yesterday. If you were here, you know what I'm talking about. And I posted it in the Discord, but what was that all about? It was like a weird moment. I was like, is this the same person logged in on a different account? Like, what is going on? Who's Richard? And that comment about Brandy? Like, what? Excuse me? See, that sort of a comment would just be an instant ban from me. I wouldn't even reply. Just, you're not worth it. Well, that's a problem too, Barth, I think, with people who, the time zones and stuff, because I've had that problem myself sometimes. There's been one or two, I presume, Americans who have been Well, there's been one person in particular, and I feel like when they were in my streams, most of the time they were usually drunk and had not gone to bed yet. And it became very apparent that I think they were wasted, and it was like 6 AM and they still hadn't gone to bed yet. And I'm just sitting here like, I don't need to babysit you at 6 in the morning and put up with your no filter, wasted ways. And I could believe they sent me a very lovely apology. It wasn't for that particular incident, this was for something else, but I could genuinely believe that they were a nice person, but I'm only getting them at a certain time of night, do you know what I mean? And I'm just like, you need to just take yourself to bed. I'm not your after party. But I probably don't feel like I get too much of that, because a lot of my crowd, I think you're all like up early risers, having your breakfast and working and lurking mostly, so I do avoid that to a degree. I feel like the late night America show, you know, that's on about like 5 or 6 hours before I go live, there's a lot of that, and most of them have fallen asleep by the time I'm going, but sometimes I do. No, they changed it. If you're banned, you can't watch. I mean, you could just make another account or whatever, and be quiet, but whatever. If you're quiet, I don't fucking care. Give me the view and just be quiet. But if you speak, it'll probably alert me that you're a ban evader. But no, they changed it. When you ban someone, they can no longer watch. 5-3? It used to be that way though, which was absolutely ridiculous. Because the whole point of banning someone is you don't want them to watch. Because the problem with that used to be that it basically just let them troll you, get banned, and then watch you being upset about it afterwards. And because that's what they want. That's why whenever I used to ban, I still do it to a degree, but when I used to ban somebody, I would just ban and move on. Don't let it get to me. I'm not going to sit and have a 5-minute rant about them because they're still sitting there watching and like, oh yeah, I did that, you know? That's the whole point. That's what they want. So I'd just ban and carry on. Maybe talk about them another day. Like now. Howdy, Peacock. Ban evader. But no, they did change it. The worst thing for me, though, I think that Twitch needs to sort out. I mean, I've removed the ability now. I just decided, but you can usually do like. You used to get like ban requests. What I hate is that if someone sends you an unban request, you can't deny it without it sending them a notification to tell them that you've denied it. That is just never going to go anywhere good. If I want to deny it, I just want to do it without letting you know. Like, you'll be able to figure it out. Because my problem is sometimes I had a ban request that I didn't notice, and it's been months now, and I want to get rid of it, but I can't without alerting them, which is just going to remind them of my existence. It just feels like a total easy way to go to toxic. Yeah, so you can either approve the unban, or deny and let them know, or just permanently have it stuck in your you have one request. You could ignore it forever, but then you've just got to put up with like, you have 4 unban requests forever. It's so incredibly stupid. Yeah, probably creates more harassment. I've just turned it off now. I think, did we do the same thing, G? I think we had a conversation about it and we both decided to do that. Whether you did or not is your business, but I'm pretty sure that we just had a chat one day and was just like, this is so silly to you, because if I banned you, I think we're done. So I don't think there's... I used to leave it on, like, just in case, like, maybe there was a mistake, like, maybe a mod or something did something by mistake, or a finger slipped, or I thought, I don't know. But honestly, no, it's never happened. Having them turned on, all it's ever done is given me anxiety, because I get a message and I don't want to deal with it. And I've never unbanned anybody, so I don't see why. I don't need it. If you're gone, you're gone, I think. And I'm pretty easygoing. Like, people that tend to get banned, it's because they've crossed a very obvious line where they've just been flat out rude. If you make me feel bad, oh shit! Don't do that. Hope that didn't save. Like, if you just make me feel shitty. If you just make me feel shitty and you make me, every time I see your username, I'm going, oh, no. That's not good, you know? Oh, I hit reset, which wasn't even the right thing to do. I think I've made a save state though, so we should be all good just in case, but yeah. Take a moment to pick the vibe. It does, but people should also take the moment. People don't always do this enough. Take the moment to pick up on the vibe before you start. Oh, we're still in the World Finals. How's Pelé? It's garbage. But yeah, I'm gonna have to stop because it's 1:30 in the morning and I've got work tomorrow. I don't want to go, but I gotta go. I gotta go. Lovely conversations. These sports games, they do get the good combos.